Welcome back to another Conductor Live, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Mr. HaloGelato. You know, me and him get into very big trouble when it comes to live streams. We're a bunch of chatty Cathys, and we could talk forever. Literally, we could talk forever. We got a lot of park updates to talk about, a lot of them being in Orlando, but without further ado, HaloGelato, first of all, how are you doing? And where can everyone find you on social media?
Absolutely, doing good. I know this was kind of a last-minute decision to go live, but hey, you know how I am. I'm a spontaneous kind of guy. You know, where I'm ready to go, drink my prune juice, and let's get going. But in any case, if you want to find me on social media, you can on YouTube with HaloGelato, where Abby and I cover all things with Disney, Universal, Knott's Berry Farm, the cruise line, life vlogs, event vlogs, movie review vlogs. We just released several of them, I think, back to back between Scary Movie 6, Masters of the Universe, and also Power Ballads. So definitely check all three of those reviews out on HaloGelato. And you could also find me on Instagram under HaloGelato and my personal account, the Disney Italiano.
Absolutely. And let's show HaloGelato some love. He's only a few away from 70K, a huge accomplishment. And like he mentioned, a lot of great content, because his wonderful wife Abigail did a vlog at the Disneyland Resort just recently about Trader Sam's and that whole experience. So definitely go check that out, because I saw it and she did a phenomenal job. I enjoyed it, and Abby did well for a solo. I loved it.
Yeah, she did phenomenal. It's actually doing gangbusters right now. It's almost about to hit 500 views.
Wow.
So she did really well. And apparently everyone is encouraging her to do more solo vlogs. So we shall see where that goes.
Hey, you know what? Maybe you might have to be behind the camera and Abby be front and center.
I mean, it's that woman's touch.
Oh my God. Hey, it's true though. We got Giant Peter in the house, George, man, and the masters of the theme park conductor verse. I like that.
Wow, that's a nice like mixed breed of
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. You got that Marvel and Mattel thing going.
And then we got Lene in the chat as well. We got Abigail. Thank you so much for the birthday wish. Actually, my birthday is tomorrow, but I am going to be celebrating it with HaloGelato and our dear friend Tommy Toon World, who is already having a blast at the Disneyland Resort. Can't wait to hang out with you guys and get into some trouble. Not theme park trouble, but just drama trouble.
Just our shenanigan trouble. You know how we do it.
Pretty much.
You know something's about going to go down tomorrow. You just know it. It's like
100%. And we also got Chris West in the house. Thank you, Chris.
Isn't that true though? I'm the same way, Chris. Like when it's my birthday, I celebrate the whole month of August. It's Italiano month with that one for sure.
Absolutely. And we got a $4.99 super chat from Chris West. Thank you so much, Chris. HaloGelato, I want to ask you, because I showed you this literally minutes before we went live. What in the heck are we looking at here?
I actually didn't know until I read the caption, but all I saw was this big, long, pointy pink thing. And then and then next to it, this kind of misshapen orange bumpy thing. I thought like maybe like at first I thought Universal was like kind of giving their take on what an STD would look like, but then we read the captions, and then this is to promote the Minions versus Monsters movie, the new Minion movie coming out. And I told you before we went live, when in doubt, just bring out the inflatables, you know. And I actually said, I think it would have been kind of cool to see that out during FanFest, even though I'm not looking forward to the Minions movie. But I know for a fact there is going to be people that is going to want me and Abby to do an out-of-theater review for this thing. I'm like waiting for it. So whenever I do my lives on HaloGelato, folks, you better start sending me some super chats because I'm going to need to pay for some therapy after I see this movie.
Hey, you heard him straight up. Yeah, this I don't know, man. I think it's a great promotion. Don't get me wrong, but I have to say, can they get any bigger?
I mean,
They're
the fact that this photo was taken like from a distance, and so I wonder what it looks like in. It has to be pretty big if you're
oh
standing right
god.
in front of it.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Chris West said it will probably be better than He-Man.
Yeah. We Abby and I saw it yesterday, Chris. I don't know if you you caught our out of movie review. But whenever you get the chance, definitely check it out. Yeah, we we have some opinions on it.
Oh dear God, I can't wait to see that. So this is a question more towards me. I don't know if you follow sports that close, George. I'm going to go Knicks.
I
I'm
was
going
actually going to say I go Knicks as well.
I
Yeah.
go Knicks because a lot of my family back east is in New York. So even though I'm not a New York fan by any means necessary, Red Sox since '04, I will go with the Knicks.
Well, of course, because everybody was loving your hat down in Florida.
Oh, they were. Oh my gosh. John says, "What? How could you not like it, Georgia? It has a massive octopus on that preview poster." Yeah, it doesn't look like that from a distance. It looks
From
like something else.
from Monsters versus Minions. The thing with Minions is they are good as a sidekick kind of character. When it comes for them to carry a whole entire feature length film, I could only listen to them for so long, and then my ears start bleeding. So it's so I've seen the first Minions movie in theaters. I skipped out on the what was it? The Minions where they meet Gru and everything. I skipped out on that one,
Yeah.
but I don't know. The last trailer for the Minions versus Monsters, there were a few chuckle moments. So I mean, I'll stay optimistic about it. But even with the Despicable Me movies, I'm like lost. I can never tell which one is which. Like obviously, like the first one and maybe the second one, but when you get to 3 and 4, like you lost me.
Yeah, no, for sure. And John Make It Rain says, I think they should try to connect it to Megamind or some other universal or universe or something.
That would have been kind of cool. Do you, John, or anyone else in the chat, do you remember the movie? Because you mentioned Megamind, Monsters versus Aliens or Aliens versus Monsters. I forget.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, that's what these monsters kind of remind me of. So that would have been kind of cool if they would have added that with Megamind and kind of did just like an alternate like kind of universe thing. There were there were more a lot of adult innuendos in He-Man that I never thought they would add in.
Definitely.
Which was interesting.
Well, let me ask you this, because this is our next topic: earthquake. Now, everyone probably knows by now because I've been spreading the news like gospel. I'm going to be moving down to Florida in a couple years, not now, couple years, but I'm making arrangements to start that process. Now, all of a sudden, I see this an earthquake. So think about this: Florida has hurricanes, floods, tornadoes, fires. Now we got earthquakes. Then I forgot to mention gators. So that's number 6. Let's see. NASA ships exploding. Anything else you want to add on top of that? Just anything else?
Snakes.
Oh, snakes. Jurassic Park bugs. Let's see. Anything else? Can we do a number 10 here? Number 10.
We got to get one more. Come on, we got to get a straight 10. I got it for you. I think this is more for you.
Oh
This is kind
God.
of like a combination because it's the blistering heat and just the downpour of rain.
Oh dear God. Thanks.
You're
Thanks.
welcome.
Thanks. This guy over here. Oh my God. He is true though. When we were in Florida, especially Epic Universe, I can't tell you how many times like we're sitting there, everything's fine, clear blue skies, all of a sudden I snap my finger like Thanos, and all of a sudden all these clouds show up out of nowhere and then it starts raining. I'm like, what the hell? What is this, the multiverse of weather now or what?
You were literally the only one sitting in the Festival of the Lion King theater. Like
I was. I
I don't know
was.
how he did it. I don't know how he convinced them to literally sit. That whole theater was empty except for him.
Yeah. I'm like, nope, I'm not going in the rain. Nope.
Oh
Nope.
my god.
And then you should have seen me trying to run across the Esplanade in Animal Kingdom to a store to get a freaking overpriced poncho.
God. I wish, because you went
God.
behind my camera. I wish that you stepped in front, like because I had to. We were going into the Zootopia Better Together,
Oh God.
and it was me, Abby, and Tommy that we were in front of the camera. We were waiting for Conductor to join us, and he just shoots past us like a bat out of hell. He's like, "All right, let's go." He just already goes into the entrance. He's
Dude,
like,
it was ridiculous. I'm like, oh my, because if many of you have seen me in the park, I wear the I wear the hookah shoes because they're good for my feet. And I kid you not, they were almost halfway up my damn shoe line. That's how much flooding there was. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I go from a state that never gets rain. You almost have to basically get on your hands and knees for rain out here in California. And then I go there, it's like, yeah, I didn't want rain, but here comes rain. I'm like, oh, great. Thanks. At least I don't have to worry about car washes out there. Fuck. Every other day it's going to be rain.
yeah,
Like,
basically, yeah, just keep your car outside.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I might have to throw soap on it once in a while, but
Yeah,
oh my God. I do hate rain. I do hate rain. It was not fun. So um Cuba, so this earthquake was a 6.1 magnitude, approximately 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so Florida time. It was 73 miles off Cuba, so it was kind of in between Florida and Cuba, and the attractions that went down. And you know as best as anyone if this makes sense logistically for something like this, but
mhm,
we have Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, we
mhm,
have the Barstormer, Tiana's Bayou Adventure,
mhm.
Tron, Space Mountain, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, all went down when that earthquake hit. Do you think that's feasible, or you think that was a little?
No, I think it is because we have to also understand something that Walt Disney World, Universal Orlando, they built their parks to withstand hurricanes and flooding and everything that you had mentioned. I'm for sure they kind of mixed in some earthquake standard, kind of structures, but no one ever would have thought any earthquakes would be hitting Florida, so they probably really didn't prepare for that. So I think on the safe bet, that those rides, all the outdoor and roller coaster type rides, would be closed down temporarily until they figured out, what was going on or what have you. Now, what was interesting about that is when you look at this list, it's only Magic Kingdoms because when all this happened, I jumped on the Walt Disney World app and I went on the map to see all, the attraction times and to see what was down. All the whole list of what was mentioned was down, but when I went over to Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom, nothing was down.
That's
Expedition
interesting.
Everest was still up. Slinky Dog was still up. Tower of Terror was still up. Rock and Roller Coaster was still up. Test Track was still up. So I guess wherever the proximity that hit, where they felt the earthquake, was in the location of Magic Kingdom.
Oh, for sure. Well,
Now, did Universal report any closures?
that I'm not sure about. If anyone in the chat knows, post in the comments. I don't think so. But
Because I
it's
didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything about Universal, SeaWorld, Busch
no.
Gardens. I didn't hear any of that.
Well, see, that's weird to me because again, Walt Disney World has 4 parks, and the only one that shut down rides was Magic Kingdom, and I'm very curious why.
But we also know how earthquakes work.
True.
So if the vibration of the earthquake only hit that part of the resort, then because Walt Disney World is big,
It
I
is.
don't think like unless it's like a really huge magnitude of an earthquake that's actually hitting Florida, then it may hit the rest of the parks. But if it only would hit that, because earthquakes are weird because of what you guys all told me from like living, in California, that you could be standing, feel the ground shake, but then you can move up 2 feet and not feel anything.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And then we also have what we've experienced out here in California. So you'll have the main quake, which is whatever it is. It could be a 6, it could be a 5.5, whatever the case might be. But for us, there's like aftershocks, and you never know if
Maybe
they're
that's
like,
what that was. Maybe it was an aftershock, but again, for East Coasters, they're not going to know what an aftershock is. To them, it's, oh my gosh, like why is the ground shaking? Kind
yeah,
of.
no, 100%. So I'm not. I'm kind of shocked. I've never heard of an earthquake for Florida. This will be a first, and I'm sure when I move down there, it's going to be many more. And I have to say, our dear friend, Theme Park Obsession, he just got there the other day, and now he's established down
He
there.
took a little bit of California with him.
He did. He did. He traveled across America, checking out different parks, and then he finally lands in Orlando, and he probably went, "What the hell is this? An earthquake? Orlando never gets earthquakes." So, hey, Dimers doesn't, right? For sure. I want to jump to, since we're still. Let me see here. Give me 1 second here. I want to check out. Let me see. Bear with me 1 second here because I had it and now it disappeared on me. Bear with me a second because I want to bring up Monstropolis because there were some things I want to ask you about. Let me go on Scott Gustin real quick.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Don't worry, George is trying to give me a copyright. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh.
I will feel bad if you get a copyright and it says white male does horrible impression of Jeopardy song.
Can you imagine? Oh my god. Oh god. So this is the post from Scott Gustin, courtesy of Bio Reconstruct. So this is Monstropolis. Okay. It looks like they're doing a lot. They're keeping a lot of the old buildings and doing facelifts. Obviously, there was like a little Easter egg here with the Pizza Rizzo sign still there. I have to ask you straight up because we've had multiple CEOs over the years. We've had Michael Eisner, Bob Iger twice, Bob Chapek, now Josh Tomorrow. None of the other former CEOs in their administrations allowed content creators to be on the ground, boots on the ground, at a construction site for a future land. First of all, this is Josh is doing 100%. Second of all, do you like this idea? Do you not like this idea? What do you think about it?
I think honestly we're just moving with the times. I feel like when Michael Eisner and the very short lived CEO of Bob Chapek and even Bob Iger, I think like it. I feel like that it's it's moving along with the times that social media is becoming much bigger. Influencer, I influence whatever, you know what I mean. Um, Influencers. There we go. Um, Media and all that. Everything of that um is coming stronger now. So I think they're trying to find ways that they could like entice people to get involved, and how to do that is by through social media, through influencers, through content creators, through YouTubers, all that good jazz. So I'm all for it. I would just like to be one of those people. I would love to be boots on the ground and put on a hard hat and a construction vest, and I understand that it's to the fact of that you can't take no pictures, um you can't video anything, which is fine, and then you can't talk about it until a certain period of time that they'll let you, drop your content.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you actually a couple times, I wouldn't mind them doing some VIP tours of backstage construction area. I don't care if it's like $300 or $400. That would be a tour that I would pay the money for to do.
Well, 100%, because you actually elaborated a little bit more when me and you talked on the phone. Because me and you talk on the phone all the time. I feel like we're brothers long distance. We talk all the time. And you actually brought up a wonderful idea, and I give you all the credit in the world, was that they could incorporate this going forward as a D23
Mhm.
offering where you pay for the experience. And when they're at a certain point of construction where, obviously the Department of OSHA and other, construction um, type safety companies deem it safe for
And,
people
and,
that
and
are
and that's a good
non.
thing too. I would make these tours be 18 years or older.
Yes,
You know,
100%. Do
but
you
and
think?
I think honestly, people would be invested in it. I think people would like it because even through D23 now, it may not be like through the parks, but even through the studio side. Like Abby and I will be doing a D23 event. I think it's this upcoming Saturday. We're actually going to the real life mansion in LA where they filmed The Princess Diaries.
Oh, no way.
And they never let people tour that filming site before, but they're allowing people to do that now. And I think again, that's really cool that they're starting to like open up those gates and doors and allowing people to go kind of like a behind the scenes kind of thing. So if we could do that with the movie and studio side, I say let's do it for the parks.
100%. Well, see, it's very interesting to me. Do you think this was uh, a tomorrow move, or do you think this has been a
I,
long time coming?
I think this might be a Damaro move, but I think regardless if Damaro was in or not, I think this was going to happen anyway, just with the times of social media.
Definitely. Yeah, no, 100%. Um, and I agree with you, and I just want to say it was John Make Your Rain's birthday
Oh,
yesterday.
happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday. Um,
No, it's a birthday month. Well, I guess it's a birthday month every month because at least someone has to have a birthday
True.
one out of the 12 months of the year.
Very true. No, very true.
But happy birthday, John. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, I wanna ask you too. Do you think there's a future that we could see the Disney company going into, where there's going to be a lot more of these tours, maybe eventually not just for content creators on the media list, but like you mentioned a while back when me and you talked on the phone, a D23 offering where Disney can tap into that revenue.
Yeah, I think so because as I said, if it was like a $300 or $400 ticket, I'd be more than happy to spend it, and I think a lot of other people would do too. So
Definitely.
it's giving us the opportunity to have these once in a lifetime experiences. Disney is banking on that revenue through those ticket prices, and it's getting the info out to say, hey, this is the the genesis of how, you know, from step one to step two of how things are built. Like, see, like for a regular person, they'd be like, okay, you know, it is what it is. But for theme park nerds and geeks like us, we thrive on this stuff. Like, I would love to be back there and just watching them work and asking questions and all that.
100%. The one question I do have, because I did a video the other day with another friend of mine, Orange Grove 55, and I just did a live with him and Jared from Capture the Magic. So how this land is getting built from what it originally was Muppets Courtyard. Do you think Disney's going to go the route where they're going to open the land with the attraction, which would be the door coaster, and then as we've seen aerial shots from Bio Reconstruct, do you think it's a possibility they have an expansion pad next to the coaster if deemed fit? Let's say, for example, Tropical Americas. Just hypothetically saying, let's say it doesn't bring in the attention that Disney really wanted. It brings attention, but not to the point where they thought. Do you think they would add this? They would start building the second attraction for Monstropolis? Because think about it, Universal's doing a lot, and I mean a lot. They have 2 new rides coming to Epic Universe, which is another Monsters ride in Dark Universe. They have the Harry Potter attraction. Then they have the event space they're building. Then in IOA, they're ripping apart all the old buildings for Sinbad, for Poseidon's Fury. They're possibly rumored to be a Pokemon. Then you have in the Studios Park, they're building Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, even though I call it Orlando Drift. And then, you know, they're doing all this stuff all for the Universal parks. Do you think Disney is going to look at that and say, hey, we opened Tropical Americas, it might have not done what we thought, so we're going to add a second attraction to this land? Because this land's only going to have one attraction.
Yeah, I think in the long run, and this is what a lot of people have to understand, because this is something that I also repeat, you know, like when I always say, don't get married to the concept art, take it with a grain of salt. What I also like to say too is when people see a land being built, they automatically have this assumption that it's a one and done. Whatever they build in that land, that's going to be the land for life. That is not always the case. That is just the startup to have a land. So right now we're going to have a ride, a show, a restaurant, and merchandise, shopping.
Yeah.
In time, they can add a phase 2 to Monstropolis where they can add another attraction. Maybe it's more of a family-friendly dark ride. You know, maybe it's in the form of like Mike and Sully to the Rescue. You know, it's maybe not the exact same, but maybe sort of something like that, or like the hide and go seek or ride and go seek over in one of the international parks. You know, it could be something like that. But I wanted to bring up something to you, and I know this has nothing really to do with Monsters Inc., but you had mentioned about Rock and Roller Coaster. There is an expansion pad that is, if you walk into the courtyard, if you're facing the coaster on the left side.
Well, let me keep going. I'm going to bring up a video from
there's like a little expansion pad that is still open that, you know, people thought, okay, is that going to be connected to the animation courtyard? Could that be an expansion of where Rock and Roller Coaster is? And honestly, it could be it could be either one of those. But it was brought up by a YouTube channel that I watched. Actually, it was yesterday. And shout out to the channel, is Traction Ideas. And they were actually talking about the theme park bidding war for Sesame Street.
Ooh.
And what's interesting, and I watched the whole video, it definitely, everyone, if you have time, definitely check it out on Attractions Ideas. It's an interesting watch. But right now, Sesame Street is under a contract with SeaWorld, but there is some legal thing going on between the Sesame Workshop and SeaWorld. So pretty soon that contract could potentially be up. Now and then the YouTuber goes into talking about, okay, well, if the Sesame Street rights are available, who would possibly want to take them? So they bring up Universal, because it is in a few Universal parks, but I think the one in Universal Japan recently closed their Sesame Street. So then they go into Disney, and they mentioned Disney because of the Muppets. And when they mentioned that, they showed Rock and Roller Coaster, and then that little expansion pad that's to the left of Rock and Roller Coaster could be a little mini Sesame Street. And then they can add in another Muppets attraction to replace the villain, that would replace the villains show. And to me, that would be a full-fledged Muppet courtyard. That, to me, back there is more of a courtyard than what the original courtyard was.
Well, let keep going, George, because I'm going to bring up Google Maps and see if we could see it.
So, I mean, and it's not out of the realm that, that Sesame Street and the IP is still very popular, because you have to think at some point, even though that we're grown adults, we all had our hands dabbed into Sesame Street. I grew up with Sesame Street. For sure, you grew up with Sesame Street. You probably had a favorite character, growing up. I mean, mine was a mixture between Elmo, Cookie Monster, and then the dynamic duo of Bert and Ernie. So, but I don't know. I just think it would be kind of cool, because it would also give another kids area, at Hollywood Studios. And even for for the whole family, but also because there are some Muppet projects that intertwine the universe of the Muppets and Sesame Street. So Attractions Ideas was kind of bringing it up in the sense of that, because Disney owns the Muppets, could they essentially get the theme park rights to Sesame Street once that it ends with SeaWorld?
No, 100%. I'm going to look at Google Earth real quick, see if that's a little more updated. Because Google Maps, I don't know what its problem is. It does not like to update their maps at all.
And for anyone who is still a Sesame Street fan that would like to go to like an all Sesame Street kind of theme park, if you will, there actually is one in, I believe, I think it's in Langhorne, Pennsylvania. I went there a few times as a kid growing up, and it's a full-fledged, it's called Sesame Place.
Okay, so I actually have the map from Google Maps. Thank God. At least they like to update. Are you talking about this spot right here for expansion?
Okay. Let me see. If you where can you zoom in? Can you go to Rock and Roller Coaster?
Right there. It's this building right
here.
Oh,
I see, right there. Okay, so it's actually this part right here. This whole thing what we're looking at with the parking lot and everything.
Yeah.
See the parking of all the cars all the way back?
Yeah, all this right here.
Yeah, and then like a little bit further, because a lot of it was being used for just like off-site, like Imagineering, buildings and stuff,
Sure.
and offices.
Okay. So they could definitely, update, or they can expand this way. What's in this area right here?
That I've always like looked at. I'm assuming, I don't know if that is part of the conservation thing that's saved, because there is a certain percentage of the resort that was stated by Walt himself that he wanted to keep preserved, for wildlife and stuff. I don't know if that is part of it, but I think honestly, if it's not, that's a huge chunk of real estate right there. Oh, because sure. That's coming right off of where the Villains building is, and it's right across from where the amphitheater is for Fantasmic.
Yeah, because the amphitheater is right here, and then you have this Dude, I'm telling you, Hollywood Studios, if this plot of land right here is not taken up or like not reserved, they still have a lot of expansion left. Like, I mean, even if you zoom out a little bit, you still have all of this over here. Look at all
Mhm.
this.
Well, and then look at that whole parking lot, which they already started bleeding into for Monstropolis.
Yeah, because Monstropolis is, I think, right. No, no, no. I know this is not 100% updated, but it's like taking a chunk of this right here, right? This bigger part.
Yeah. N- Wait, let me see. No, that's where Indiana Jones is. I think it's a little bit further down. No, no, further down this way. There's the construction site right there. So
Okay, got
okay, so they already dug up part of the uh parking lot already.
gotcha. So it's actually in this area right
Yeah.
here. That's where the coaster's at.
And that's just going to be the show building, but they got so much more parking lot because the fact that they ran it into the parking lot tells me they have no problem with uh with removing that lot.
No, and like I said, if you look on the left and right, they have a lot of expansion. I
Oh
mean, a
yeah,
lot.
there's still so much land, and that's what Walt wanted. He wanted to not ever run out of land that would take over decades at a time, even after him, which he succeeded. And actually, he probably would have bought up even more land, but it was because of that journalist that leaked him saying that he was the one that was buying up the land, and the neighboring swamplands that were selling their lands. It literally went from $100 an acre to 1,000 overnight once
Yeah,
they found out it was him.
God. Oh, of course. That's
So,
borderline.
so if it wasn't for that journalist, I mean, she was only doing her job and she did well. But if it
Sure.
wasn't for her, he probably would have bought up even more land.
Crazy. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Chris West says there's a Sesame Street Place water park in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
So there is one close by to, at least to me. You're kind of on the opposite side, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's close to me. It's close to me and Chris. Um, so we got that. The next thing I want to bring up, this is kind of still staying in Florida for half a second here. Let's see. Before we jump to the Universal, well, we're jumping to the Universal side. Screw it. Okay. So I want to ask you, this is going to be in City Walk leading, I think leading towards IOA. So Islands of Adventure entrance. So this is from Inside Universal. It says construction walls and barricades are being set up in City Walk around the rumored site for the new Category 10 country bar and restaurant. So that is currently going on as we speak right now.
Okay. I
So
mean, I'm loving the fact. I know that a lot of people don't like to see construction walls going up, but anytime I see construction walls means there's expansion progress going on. And
yeah.
I like to see that.
Well, see, I think for IOA though, I think this is a good thing. That this is a good thing. A country bar or any type of music venue like a House of Blues, I think does really well. I think out in Florida, because you have the Orlando market and you have the California market, two different markets, two different audiences, and I think something like that will fit here. Um, and I the one thing I fell in love with being out there is their City Walk. I love that most of the parks out there, both Universal and Walt Disney World, and their City Walk is incorporated by water. I love that. The water really accents a lot of these buildings, restaurants, shops, you know, Fast and Furious, Orlando Drift is going to get a view of that. So I don't know. I think this is a good thing. I really honestly think this is a good thing.
And actually, speaking of, as you say, Orlando Drift, Theme Park Obsession, Dylan was posting like up to date things on the coaster construction. I mean, it's moving pretty quick.
He did. These are actually some of the pictures from theme park. No, inside Universal. I'm sorry. So obviously they have added more track. The one thing I will say about this version of Hollywood Drift, which again it pains me to say that because it shouldn't be named that, is that it has a different color scheme. So I do like that. I do respect it's not going to be the charcoal gray that we have. So it's going to be a different color, color track and all that and supports. I do like that. I do like that. But I have to tell you, do you hold on? I gotta go back real quick because look at that thing.
That's pretty steep.
Dude, it's gonna be, I think they said 7 stories high. 7 stories or 11 or something crazy like that. That's insane.
Crazy. Well, I will say I do love how it's going to have a different structure and a different ride through. So I'm cool with that. But then that's why I would have just made it like something else, but Chris West says 170 feet.
Ooh, that's going to be brutal, but it's going to be awesome. I have to say, I do agree with you though. I do like that the layouts are different. Obviously, I think if Hollywood Drift out in Hollywood, not Orlando, Hollywood was not on the hillside, they might have done the same layout. I would hope not, but they might have. So I do like we're getting 2 different versions. One's on the hillside, one's flat. So I do respect that.
But I'm really like, they're moving fast on this. I mean, they'll probably open this one up before we're still waiting for the one to open up out here. So.
Yeah, no. Speaking of that, I have to ask you. I have to ask you that question because we're kind of dancing around the bush trying to figure out what date it is. There was someone online, I think, or Wizard actually mentioned it in his latest Universal video today that they're looking now at July the 6th to open that coaster. Do you think that's a possibility, or you still think it's the 26th?
I think honestly, right now, everyone is just taking jabs at guesses. It went from June 19th to June 22nd to June 26th, back to June 22nd, then to June 26th again, 4th of July weekend, then after the 4th of July weekend. I think honestly, anyone can take a guess and someone might be right, but that's why I'm just kind of taking it by hearsay until we actually hear it from Universal themselves.
No, 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. I am going to tell you this, though. I think personally, I don't know the last time I remember people are Universal messing up where someone dropped a date like that. Like that's something Disney would do. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure I've missed something that Universal has done in the past, but they don't make mistakes like that usually. So I'm very curious why they did that. Chris West said people saw scaffolding back on the track today. They did. So something transpired on that lower part, the straightaway where it shoots back up the hill. Their scaffolding now re-added there. So
I just wonder if they're just trying to get it to where there's not going to be a lot of. I mean, it's going to break down at some point, but I think when they officially open it, they want to try to have all cylinders a go, where it's not going to be closed down for 3 hours, open up for an hour, closed down for another 2 hours. That's going to be a mess. And I feel like if they're not 100% ready for it to be opened, that's why I think that they said just change it to summer of 2026, because who knows, it may come at the back end of summer going into the fall right before Halloween. You
never really know. I do find it interesting. You have scaffolding like Chris West was mentioning, but then someone caught Access Hollywood filming right in front of the building. They had it barricaded off, and Access Hollywood was filming. I'm like, okay, well, if they have Access Hollywood filming, then they had there was a media reporter that I think it was from Channel 4 that walked with the Universal Creative, the head of Universal Creative, walking through the queue and whatnot. They have to be close.
Yeah, and then I also did see a billboard. It was one of those digital billboards that changes, advertisements.
Sure.
And that was on there on our way back home from the park. So the fact that they're advertising it on a billboard, it didn't have a date. It just said, zooming soon into Universal Studios Hollywood and everything, and it said Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. So the fact that they're advertising it means, yeah, maybe the scaffolding could just be the finishing touches, like
Could
just like tweaking some things. But again, I'm not holding my breath either way until I actually hear from Universal.
Yeah, no, 100%. I hope we hear something. You know what? The fact that they're having all this, you know, all this attention to it all of a sudden with Access Hollywood, then you have Channel 4 News, you have people well, not guests, but people like Universal team members writing it. They got to be close because it's pretty much done. Like you said, they're fine tuning some things, they're adding some things last minute, they're finishing up the barricades with the glass and all that. So I understand that. Jumping back to the East Coast, though, this is from Bio Reconstruct. This is just an aerial view of what, again, Orlando Drift is looking like. Not Hollywood Drift, even though they call it that. Orlando Drift. But damn, look at that spike, though. Oof. That is going to be some G-Force brutal right there. It's going to be interesting. Look how tall that is. Look at that. Dude, it towers over City Walk. Look at that. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Sorry. Is it going to circle around or is it going to go up and come backwards?
So I think it's going to go up and then come backwards, and there's going to be a switch track somewhere down below, and it's going to go the other opposite way. So I think there's going to be a switch track down here somewhere. But damn,
okay. Yeah, as I was saying, I didn't realize I was muted. That's going to be a doozy. That's going to be a... Okay, that's interesting. So I didn't brush up on it, but Chris West said the first movie came out June 22nd of 2001.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a possibility.
100%. But damn.
I just don't, in my personal opinion, I don't think that they're going to open it the 4th of July weekend. I think that's going to be a busy weekend. And I mean, it could still be busy for the theme parks, but I just think people are going to have other things to do. And I think that might hurt the opening or hurt other people's previous plans for the 4th of July weekend. I could see them doing it before or maybe after, but I don't see them doing it on the 4th of July weekend.
No, 100%. So I don't know. It's literally a catch-22. We'll have to wait and see, but the fact that like you said, they're moving so fast. Like, look at this. They have the spike up, they add more track, they're adding more supports. They added a lot to the load station. They have supports off-site, track off-site, ready to go. This is crazy. Like, I mean, we could possibly see 3/4 of this done by the time me and you go next summer back down there. If not,
I'm for sure by next summer, we may see the track almost in completion.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, and I don't know what it is about Universal. I will say it until the day I die. I'm not even kidding. Universal has a way with construction. I don't understand it. I never will, but my God, I
think Florida now, just in general, has a way with construction. They're just I remember obviously during the COVID era, it took them a very long time for Disney to construct Tron, which, as I said, I understand, why, but I mean, all the projects that are going on right now in Florida are moving in full cylinder. Now, when it comes to out here, now we're starting to see movement, but it always seems like we always go a little bit slow out the gate out here. I don't know why.
We do. The only reason I think it's California logistics, it's policies, it's the red tape.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, Florida kind of just like, oh, there's no red tape. Yep, build it. And you know what's funny? I do give credit to Disney because out in Florida, because of the responses that Universal's doing, like I said earlier, with Epic building two new attractions, filed permits. Then you have the event space. They've already filed the permits. They've already broke ground for. Then the fact that they're going to have a nighttime spectacular show with the fountains, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. You have IOA doing all the construction for a possible Pokemon land. Then you have you have the Studios Park building this. It's just like Disney really does not have much of a choice, so they're ramping up construction. We're seeing it with Monstropolis. We're seeing it with Tropical Americas. We're seeing it with Cars Land. Every project out there, almost every project, not all, but almost every single project is ramping up construction on both sides of the fence.
That is true. And that's a good thing. As I said, I love it. We have Amusement Park Pirates in the house. Welcome in. And then two statements from Chris West. The
Sure.
first one, it has a feature for virtual queue. Yeah. And I think Universal also posted that in the description on the website and the app. So I think we're all kind of rare and ready to go that if we wanted to get in on that first day and that first weekend, we're going to have to. We're
God.
definitely going to have to endure that virtual queue.
Hey,
Unfortunately.
a virtual queue for me and George is like PTSD.
It
It's
is.
not
I think,
pleasant.
yeah, anything with a virtual queue, whether it's getting tickets, whether it's standing in line for a ride, like I can't stand that phrase anymore. Like virtual queue, I can't like.
I'm gonna
And then we
get
also got Cherry Blossom Fairy in the house. Welcome in. And then the other one from Chris West was weird. The Universal Kids Park opens July 1st, and we haven't seen any in-park footage yet.
no.
I think, I mean, that is kind of strange coming for Universal's part, but I think as far as not getting any content creators is because I think it's kind of a niche market for that park. And I feel like a lot of people would feel weird going out there just, to be amongst a kids park if you don't
Sure.
have kids or a family. Now, I'm not saying you can't go, but I just wonder if it's just, and especially with it being in Frisco, Texas,
Yeah.
I'm wondering like if they would have opened that as a connection to like Universal Studios Orlando and they had like a kids made only park. Maybe they could have put that in the placement of the old Nickelodeon's area that's
Yeah.
connected to the DreamWorks area that used to be Fievel's Playland. They could have done something like that, but with it just being a standalone park in the middle of Texas, I don't know. I think that's going to be very limited.
Oh, for sure. For sure it's going to be limited. No, again, I really honestly hope for the best. I want to see what they're going to come out with it, cuz being that the Horrors Unleashed is not doing what it should be doing in numbers and revenue, and the fact that they're still considering building a Chicago location kind of scares me a little bit. So I don't know, but they did announce that Monsterpalooza they're going to incorporate new IP into Horrors Unleashed in Las Vegas. So hopefully that changes it. But I don't know. That might just be a band aid, on something that's already going down and just revenue and foot traffic and stuff like that. First of all, Cherry Blossom said, "Gelato, I love your background."
Well,
I
thank
love
you. Yeah, I'm quite fond of it myself. I love having all four of the icons of Walt Disney World.
So the reason I don't have a background just yet. You know, I'm still working on it. Maybe eventually when I do move to Florida, I'll get one of those green screens. It's kind of hard to put one here, but eventually I will have one, and believe me, it'll be amazing. And HaloGelato will definitely be part of making that background phenomenal, because he's come up with some amazing ideas, especially for the stickers and buttons that him and his wonderful wife Abigail made for the channel. So definitely, and even his own merch is it's phenomenal. The way they make these creations, it's incredible. I'm like, how'd you do that? Like, there was one night me and him talked for like 5 hours. I'm like, okay, give me the breakdown. How'd you design it like that? So
Yeah, like literally, because I think that was when I had you on the phone when we first designed your new logo.
yes, 100%, 100%. So I wanna show this before we kind of jump to the West Coast, because there'll be two things I want to talk about there before ending the live tonight. But this is currently at IOA, Poseidon's Fury, and the former Sinbad location.
Mhm.
You know, they're not screwing around. Look at that.
They moved quick on
Look
this
at that. It's gone. It's pretty much gone at this point. I'm like, they're not slow action. They're like, they basically told George, like, people like George that have no like grace period. Here's a hard hat. Here's the keys to the bulldozer. Start ripping it apart.
See,
No,
and that's what worries me with Mythos, because I obviously we know it's going to go,
yeah.
but once we get that final date for Mythos, after
Oh,
that final date, boom, it's closed on. Walls are up the next day, and that whole thing is going to get redesigned.
oh, God, it makes me cry.
Yeah,
I
that
love
that
that.
is for me. That is going to be a cringy day for me.
Ugh. I will tell you what, though. I'm gonna say this: when we're down there next summer, if it's still open, no
Oh,
matter what,
I will literally buy a single day park ticket to
okay,
IOA just for Mythos.
100%. I 100% agree with you, because I will tell you, folks, anyone that has not been the Mythos that lives in the Orlando area, I'm telling you right now, you're missing out. What a wonderful experience! The dining, the food quality, 10 out of 10. I think the wait staff, phenomenal. The theming inside, just some of the best work you'll ever see from Universal Creative ever. And I told Hollow Gelato this when me, him, his wife Abby, and Tommy walked in there. I'm not even kidding. Walked in there. I'm like, did they steal a page out of Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas? Because you get that vibe.
I will say though, I am so glad that hopefully we can go one more time. I would like to go one more time, but I'm so glad that you and Tommy were able to see it before in case of anything. And actually, I'm glad that you guys got to see um the Lost Continent for what it was before it became a desert wasteland.
Yeah,
So you got to see Poseidon's Fury for what it was. You got to see the Sinbad show building and everything. So I'm glad you were able to capture that on camera um, before the construction teardown started.
definitely. I kind of wish I would have, you know, pulled the trigger years and years ago and seen both shows before they went. But
They
Hollow
were
Gelato,
phenomenal. I loved both of them. Honestly, I actually am gonna miss Lost Continent. I know it doesn't fall in the IP like realm of things, and I get things have to change, just like how we say it at Disney. It doesn't go differently for Universal. You know, it's one of the original classic lands that opened up with Islands of Adventure, but um you have to think there was a lot going on with this land. It used to be Sinbad Stunt Show, Poseidon's Fury. You had the Mythos restaurant. You had the Flying Unicorn, and then you had the Dueling Dragons roller coaster.
Jesus.
So, like, there was a lot going on with this land.
That's crazy. Because I've seen pictures and videos of the Sinbad stage, and I will tell you, even with the show not in there, just seeing the stage alone, the amount of detail that went into that was insane. Like, I mean, you'll never see that detail ever, ever again, even with Mythos.
Absolutely. Okay, I have to. Can you bring up Cherry Blossom Fairy's comment?
Sure.
Bless your heart. Gelato looks like he's in his 20s with bubblegum ice cream. Well, thank you so much, Cherry Blossom Fairy. I greatly appreciate it. That is a huge compliment that I look like I'm in my 20s. Actually, I will be turning 36 this year. Um,
36.
yeah. So the fact that you still think that I look a blushing 20s, I will take it.
No, 100%. You do look good for your age, though.
Well,
Like, I
thank
mean, there's people I've seen around your age that don't look that good. I'm like, yeah,
you.
you're how old?
Well, and
What?
especially too, because like when I shave, I have that baby face.
Oh, he does. I do
So
too, though.
yeah, yeah. So when we like get rid of the beards,
Oh,
it's like they're ready to drop us off at daycare. So
pretty, pretty much. Oh my god, pretty much. Crazy. So, the last thing for the Universal side, this is now going to the West Coast. Shout out West Coast. Um, this is again from inside Universal. So they took down the walls finally for the Eastern Security Hub next to Curious George. And I want to get your opinions on some of these pictures we're seeing. Does this kind of remind you of like a Universal Orlando type style of a security hub? Does it give you that
you know
vibe or
what
not
actually it
really?
gives me the vibes of, believe it or not?
What's that?
It's in Orlando, but it doesn't give me off Universal Orlando. It actually gives me Disney World vibes.
Really?
Because anytime I remember going into any of the Disney World parks, they usually have that squared off kind of, cover up canopy kind of feel to it, especially like going through Animal Kingdom and such, where they have now, of course, they don't have the conveyor belts, they just have the walk through scanners, but the setup kind of gives me the Disney World vibe.
No, 100%. So my question is looking at this picture. This is what scares me right now because California is so I'm not going to dive deep into it, but they're so red tape political that they don't like some of the things like we see in Orlando with facial recognition and stuff like that. Why? I don't know. I will get to that point in a second. But we kind of saw this. I observed this when we are going through this security of Universal Orlando. Okay. First of all, this looks almost like the same setup that Universal Orlando has. Do you think we'll have that type of infrastructure with these, or you think it's still that dinosaur technology that we have at the current security uh, section?
I did for some reason, and I could be wrong. I would like for them to adapt the Florida security screenings where you just walk through if you happen to be, you happen to set off the alarm or what have you, or if they see something suspicious, they tell you go to the left or the right, you go into a separate line, they wand you, they look through your bags, and then you're off. If nothing goes off, then you just walk right through and on your merry way. I hope that would be the case. I still see them still doing these conveyor belt things. And Disneyland, I would love for them to get into the conveyor belt thing, even though that this is out of date. I feel like Disneyland's even more out of date
Yeah,
with just hand to bag um, contact.
100%. Now, I want to bring this up real quick. So if you look in the background, so they have stanchions because they know the lines are going to get crazy. And then on the background, you kind of have that blue wall with the characters on it. So they did theme that back area with some nice bush plants, with some of the character postings. So I do like that. I do appreciate they did put in the effort to theme that back area as you're walking through. One thing I took away from Theme Park Wizard's video today, because he dropped it today, shout out to Theme Park Wizard. He's actually saying at this hub specifically, they are going to have like 1 or 2 lines dedicated for team members. Okay, team members, and the rest for guests. Because apparently team members also use the Curious George parking structure. So that begs the question, how many lines are going to be for team members and how many lines are going to be for guests? Because there's 16 lines per hub. 16 lines. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to work out. Now, I will say, though, they have elevated this security hub along with the one at Jurassic Park parking structure, where you have the TVs, which we never had before. You have fans, you have lighting, and actually, someone on social media, I captured it myself. Actually, if you look really closely at the building, how it's waved out, it kind of looks like that Dodger Stadium type structure look, but
Mhm.
it has the light bar on it, so it lights up at night. So I do like that. It does light up. So I do very much like that.
I'll say literally, even when Disneyland starts moving forward with Disneyland Forward with, the parking structure and everything, it's definitely coming down to that Disneyland and Universal Hollywood are going to be very different moving forward as far as like how we get into the theme parks.
Oh, for sure.
Um, which I mean that in a good way. I'm glad that they're updating things and they're moving along with the times, and change is good. New style is good. So I do agree with you. I think the lighting, because that tells me that if the park stays open longer, to have like those lights on so people can get in and out safely and stuff. And I mean, come on, once that coaster opens, who wouldn't want to ride that at night? So
Oh,
that definitely gives an excuse for the park to stay open much later.
oh, for sure. I'm going to tell you this. One thing I would love to see, because they're going to close off the front of the park, obviously, at some point to um, start building the hotel. Because Chris West asked about it. He's all like, I wonder when they will start on the Frankenstein parking security. So right now, the current security we have that everyone goes through at the moment, that's going to be the temporary security hub for Frankenstein parking structure until they actually build the one they want to build once the hotel starts. But one thing I will say, hand to God, I want to see it, is I want to see them get rid of the fingerprint scanners and do facial recognition. I don't know what it is, why people don't like it, but think about it, folks. Think about it. I'm just going to be real. Facial recognition is in our everyday lives. Think about it.
Your
You have
phone.
exactly. I was just going to get to that. Your Apple iPhone and even Android, they use facial recognition to log into apps, log into your phone. Then when you go to security, facial recognition. So it's not like it's a new technology like AI, where it's kind of like, yeah, we don't know where this direction is going. Um, so I would like to see the fingerprint scanners out of all these changes, happening at Universal Hollywood. I want to see the fingerprint scanners go away and give us the facial recognition. I love that. I want it. One thing I will say, and I don't think Universal will do it, and it makes me kind of sad. I would like the debit card type uh season passes back, which Universal won't do, at least here on the West Coast. Um, that's what I would like to see, because Disney's doing it. Why can't Universal do it? If Disney can have facial recognition, why can't Universal Hollywood have it? I'm being fair. Now, to be fair to the fingerprint scanner, though, out in Walt Disney World, never had a problem. I speak for myself because HaloGelato, unfortunately, I think day one, I think it was Epcot,
It was
had
Epcot. Yeah.
it was a little bit of an issue, and he was ready to go WWE on a cast member, but I'm going to leave that alone, at least from my side of it.
Yeah, that was like just so frustrating because it was like then I think it was, if memory serves me correctly, Abby, if you're still in the chat, she told Abby to put her fingerprint down, but it read as me, or it was vice versa or something. So we had to go to guest services and they had to like change the whole thing. And I'm like, they said she could have just changed it right there, then and there, you know? And I'm like, well, I was like, yeah, she wasn't like too very happy with us. So
Oh my gosh. And John Make It Rain says, I don't use Face ID for my phone. It's more secure without it. Very true. But here's the thing. Fingerprint scanners, even though it's dinosaur technology at this point, kind of like what 3D is, they still get your information from your fingerprint. So whether it's fingerprint or facial recognition, I rather have facial recognition because still Universal's getting your information, and there's no hiding behind that. There's no way around it. They have your information. Chris West says, I would like to see Universal have the tickets and passes go to the Apple and Android wallet too, just besides the app. 100% agree with you, because one thing I loved about our trip to Walt Disney World was the fact that even though I only had a ticket, not a season pass, a ticket, I was able to have that on my Apple wallet. So all I had to do was tap the little entrance thing, and boom, I was in. It was so simple. Oh my god, it was. I was in heaven. It was so simple.
yeah, I don't know why Universal doesn't do that.
But Disney doesn't do it either out here.
It's weird. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know why. Like again,
Well,
so that's what I don't understand, because it's coming from the same company, so that has to be a state to state thing, right? I don't
know. And that's what concerns me. Because if you look at it, like our D23 card, even though mine's kind of worn out because I've had it in my wallet, I added it to my Apple wallet. So I'm able to do that, but I can't add my Magic Key to my Apple wallet. It's like, wait a second. So when Josh tomorrow gets on a platform and says, yep, we're going to cram 50, and I'm being over exaggerated, but 50 Disney apps into one super app, it's like, why are you focusing on that? Give us the Magic Key on the Apple wallet before you decide to cram all 50 Disney apps into one app and have it epically fail, because then you can't do mobile order, you can't do all this other nonsense. So just saying. just saying.
just say.
Chris West says, and once you step on property, they see you anyway from the cameras. He's talking about the facial recognition. So
Right.
exactly. So why not incorporate a better way to let guests into the park instead of the stupid fingerprint scanners, which lately I've run into a problem. Every single time I put my finger on the damn scanner, it doesn't scan. Then I have to do it 2 more times. Then it finally scans, or the team members are like, hey, just go ahead through. I'm like, this technology sucks, man. This is worse than the dinosaurs being killed by a damn meteorite. Give us updated technology, for God's sakes. Come on, man. We're in the 21st century here. Jeez Louises. Chris West says, I love having my knots passed on my Apple Watch. See, look at that. Even Cedar Fair has it.
We have ours as well.
God. Disney and Universal out here on the West Coast needs to get with the program. That's all I'm going to say. Because I can go on a rant. And
Well, you know what's so funny? Like you could actually I have my D23 membership in my wallet.
Well, that's what I was saying. So do I.
Yeah. So it's like,
I don't understand that. I don't get it. I really do not Get
You
it?
can have literally your airline tickets and Broadway tickets as in your wallet. So I don't get like with the all-time like big theme parks like Disney and Universal, why they out here anyways, like why they can't do that.
No, I don't get it either. So, the last thing I want to talk about, we're only going to watch a partial of this video. This is a video from David from Fresh Baked. He
Okay.
just dropped
There
it today.
after this topic, there is one more thing I wanted to
Oh,
bring
sure.
up. Yeah.
Of course. So this is talking about the Eastern Gateway because now we have movement. So apparently they're going to close one of the cast member parking lots where the Eastern Gateway is going to go later this month and start prepping for the Eastern Gateway. And David talks about it a little bit. So I want to play that. HaloGelato, you know the rules of engagement. Anytime you want me to pause, let me know and I'll pause it.
All right, sounds good.
Here we go. Oh, hold on. I gotta do it a different way, different format. Hold on.
Oh, and before you do,
Sure.
Brandon Green, Walt Disney World pass holder here. We use the Apple Watch most times. I think in a few years, Magic Bands will be a thing of the past.
Interesting. Okay, so I want to touch upon that. I'm glad you asked that, Brandon Green. Thank you for asking that because one of the things we saw recently at the Disneyland Resort was our Magic Bands just went away because there's not enough infrastructure here at the Disneyland Resort for that. And it's interesting you say that about Walt Disney World. So I'm very shocked by that. But it makes sense though with Apple wallets, Apple watches, iPhones, it makes sense. So I get it. I do get it. But I love that you can have the themed different magic bands to celebrate different characters, different anniversaries, limited editions. I do like that. I know the Apple watches, you can get like different screensavers and all that and different like themes, but I don't know if it's the same or not. I'm just saying. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I agree with you. Now, really quick with John's, he says I have an iPhone and don't have any of that hooked up. I prefer just using the card. Do they still give cards out? I mean, do they? I'm assuming they still even do paper. They do paper tickets, right? I
Yeah.
don't know. I haven't bought a regular ticket like that in how long, but do they
Yeah.
still even do it in card form?
I I didn't know they did it in card form, to be honest. The only people that have the card form is like what you used to have and what Orange Grove 55 has is that Premier Pass that JPEG got rid
That
of.
was the last time I ever had a card, and I miss my Premier Passport. I
Oh,
really do.
I would get in a heartbeat if they brought it back. And Chris West for another 4.99 super chat. He says, "Don't forget to try the Pog Dole Whip at Trader Sam's tomorrow as a birthday treat." Ooh, I gotta try that. Have you tried that?
I haven't tried that, but actually, Abby and I just got back from Trader Sam's. I tried some of the new food items.
Ooh,
Um, I went into and we actually dined inside. The only problem with it is I tried recording. They had us sitting in the most inconvenient spot. They had us right by the door.
oh, of
And
course.
literally, because inside the ambiance is supposed to be dark with like the lighting, and they
Sure.
keep on opening the freaking door to let people in, and it's like killing my shot. And then you have like this cast member that's just holding the door open, standing there waiting. I like literally wanted to turn and say, "Close the freaking door!" Like it's
I can see you doing that too. I
yeah,
can
it's
see
like
you doing
geez,
that.
please.
Oh my god. Brandon Green says you can use a card annual pass, but the thing is they want to see your ID all the time. Okay, that would be
Okay,
annoying.
so Brandon Green, is that at Walt Disney World? Because
Or
for Disneyland, they don't have cards for like the magic keys. It's strictly on the
yeah,
phone. And
I
I
wish.
haven't had a Walt Disney World pass in a minute. So as I said, the last time I had a Walt Disney World pass was no, I did regain my Walt Disney World pass after my Premier Passport ended. I bought it again right after COVID lifted, but I just had the pass on my phone. Okay, at Walt Disney World. Okay.
Yeah, but All right, fresh baked. David, take it away, sir.
That's going to happen at Disneyland over the next 10 to 15 years is going to start with this news. We have a date. Oh, and this bizarre scene. My goodness. Plus, great news from Mission Breakout.
You
We
pause
got
that
a
real
bunch
quick?
of stuff to talk
Sure.
I actually recorded that. Abby and I went on the train yesterday, and they have the Grand Canyon and the dino scene down for refurbishment. So they have the whole wall blocked up, but they have like these little cardboard cutouts of like where things are at. So I actually recorded it. I made a short out of it. It's on HaloGelato for anyone who wants to go check it out.
Definitely check that out.
about. Did you guys catch that, by the way? Let's begin. Let's get out the Disney Way off Harbor Boulevard for a story that we've been tracking since 2017.
Sorry, can you pause that one more time?
9 years it's taken.
I just wanted to so Chris West did confirm you can buy a paper magic key at the ticket booth like Universal. I never knew that.
I didn't either. That's the first time I knew of it.
You learn something new every day.
Exactly. Thank you.
To get here. You want Avatar, you want Disneyland Forward, you want just about anything new at Disneyland beyond what they're already building.
I just want news.
You have to build this first, the Eastern Gateway. They were going to build it back in 2017, then they didn't. It's back, and this time it looks like it's real because now we have a date we can look at as the very beginning of the future of Disneyland. This was posted on May 30th to a local Disneyland Union Facebook page, and then also verified through other sites and sources. I've been hearing about this for a few days now. On June 28th, they're going to close the Manchester cast member parking lot. They're going to close it, one can only assume, because they're about to begin site prep for that Eastern Gateway. The Eastern Gateway is being built on that very Manchester cast member parking lot, also known as the Pumbaa lot off Disney Way. A few months ago, we had been spending a lot of time out in front of this lot, this cast member parking lot, looking for paint. You guys remember all that paint we saw? Sent Liz out there scouting the streets to see what she can find, in terms of just signs that they're about, because we knew it was going to be happening, but we didn't know when.
You pause it real quick.
Like it was going to take forever to get there.
That's what maybe I should do with Abby. I'll just have her going out scouting the streets like Dave did with Liz, and just like I'll be in one direction, she's in another. We both record and bring it together.
I love it. You probably would do something like that, huh? You probably would.
But and we saw all the signs, and then we've kind of been watching. We've been looking at it from the various hotels. There's various hotels. Oh man, am I going to be able to get rooms in these places to get the occasional bird's eye view of the construction out there? But that's what's happening here. It's beginning June 28th, or demo. Well, I would say not demo, but land prep and clearing. And I've heard reports, by the way, from cast members that there's paint. They've already begun, marking areas inside the lot proper. We've seen them out in the street, but we haven't seen any on the lot proper because we're not cast members, so we can't park in there. And to give you a sense of scale for this place, I mean, it's going to be enormous. You've seen the concept, the animatic that they produced years ago that we have video of where we covered it. And it's just this, probably the biggest damn parking lot we've ever seen in our lives. And it's going to connect. This is where we get to finally see, well, hopefully in the near future, that bridge that's going to connect that lot in Crossover Harbor right next to Camelot. You guys remember this? We've been looking at this, scouting this space for 9 years. They've bought this hotel that used to be where this empty lot is now. There was a hotel here. They bought that hotel years ago and destroyed it. And we've been waiting. And you can, by the way, you can see this bridge in that really cool looking concept art that Disney released almost a year ago, exactly to this day, I think. This concept art is beautiful, but there's that bridge. We're cutting right through the middle of that image. That bridge is connecting to the Eastern Gateway. It's delivering guests on foot over Harbor Boulevard from the Eastern Gateway parking structure. This lot is precisely where that bridge is going to go. All of this, that begins on June 28th when they close that lot. I mean, nothing is going to happen here for a while, but we now have a starting point, which is just about the most exciting thing that I can think of. I'm so thrilled that we're finally going to be at or near.
Isn't it kind of sad though that we have to say it is exciting that we're just closing the lot? Like that is like shouldn't this have already been like?
Well, see, I'm going to say this because I've been an avid, person that has, done like arguments on this. I 100% agree with you. This was announced even before D23, right?
This was before D23 because this had to be. I was still over in PA. I remember I stayed up late at night. I was watching the court thing on YouTube with my mom. It had to be
2023, right?
It had to be 2023.
Yeah. Okay, so 2023, and here it is, halfway to 2026, and we're barely going to close the lot right now. If everything Disneyland forward cannot move forward without this Eastern Gateway, why start it now? Why not start it the last 2.5 to 3 years? This is what I'm talking about when I say red tape, when I say, oh, Disney likes to go per quarter with their budget. This is the result. So when people say, oh, well, do I really want to pay $2,000 for an Inspire, Magic Key when I could be in Orlando, pay $300 less, have 4 parks, 2 water parks, Disney Springs, and about 100 other things that are Disney related, but outside the resort. Well, in the resort bubble, but outside the theme parks. How can you argue that when we can't, on the West Coast, we can't even get a freaking parking structure? Explain.
Well, and Chris West said construction on the OC Vibe parking garages began in mid-2023, and they officially opened on October 15th, 2025.
See, that's what I mean.
Like it's a parking structure. Yes, it's going to be a massive one, but I'm sorry, it's a parking structure that shouldn't. And I get it. Whatever the red and yellow tape is between the city of Anaheim or the state of California or with Disney and what have you, but I just don't understand. I don't know. I just don't understand. I think that's just my statement. I don't get it. I would love to sit down with Damaro or Maslam and someone can explain it to me verbally in words as why this is taking so long.
It shouldn't. It should not. Because when people like myself, like yourself, and many others in our community that do content and whatnot for theme parks like Disney, like Universal, and so on and so on, and we complain, oh, Disney's moving at a snail's pace, we can't get anything at Disneyland until this is built. So basically,
now and listen what Dave said right at the end before I had you pause it. Excuse me.
Sure.
He said that it's closing down on June 28th, but there's not going to be any movement right away. It's just closing on June 28th. So obviously they can't touch anything for Hollywoodland for Pandora until this is done, correct? I mean, is that correct?
Yeah,
like they can't.
That's correct, because my thing is Avatar is going to bleed into the bus load and unload area, and the new bus load and unload area is going into the Eastern Gateway. But I said, if they want to temporarily move it, yeah, it might be a little bit of an inconvenience. But if they want to temporarily move it, they could move it to the downtown Disney parking lot, which is basically the Lilo and Stitch parking lot, move it over there, and they could start on Avatar a lot earlier, but they are choosing not to, and they're saying, nope, we can't do anything until the Eastern Gateway is built.
Or they could have started on Avatar much later, and they could have leaned into the Lilo and Stitch parking lot first.
True.
But again, they still can't even do that because they have to reroute all the parking for that structure. So we're not going to get anything even for that expansion over at that part of Disneyland until the Eastern Gateway is completed.
Yeah, no, 100%. And John Make It Rain makes a valid point. The new parking lot is going to be like twice the size of Pixar Pal.
Yes.
I
actually think, it's going to be twice as big, I think, than Mickey and Friends and Pixar Pals like combined. Like, this is going to be a massive structure.
Oh, 100%. I understand that, John Make It Rain. Believe me, I do. But they couldn't have been at least 1/3 of the way done with it by now.
Or at least have the skeletal structure up, or something. Just show progress. Like it at the time of this live, this is June 8th. It's closing down that area in 20 days just to close off that area.
Yeah, and stage construction vehicles. They might not even start ripping into it until late July, almost to the point where D23 happens.
They're probably going to wait till after D23, because I'm for sure they're not going to want no mess of construction or anything blocked off while people are going to and fro to the convention center through all those backside streets.
Yeah, probably not.
So it's probably going to be, if I had to guess, probably like into the season of Halloween and Christmas.
That's going to be
or they may even wait even till the 2026 is over and start at the beginning of 27.
Jeez Louises. Unbelievable.
That point. And we're hopefully finally going to see how things develop. Remember when we sent Liz out there on the street looking for all that paint out there, peeking into the Pumbaa lot, the Manchester parking lot? They can't build Avatar. They can't build Disneyland Forward, whatever that is going to be. I mean, even if it is a real thing, we're not even sure.
Sorry, can you pause that?
It is.
So Brandon Green really makes a bold statement here. What's crazy is they drag their feet on a gateway such as this. I mean, we are talking concrete and foliage here at Walt Disney World, and this is very true because I've seen them do it. At Walt Disney World, they repave several miles of roads overnight, every night.
True. That's what I mean. East Coast, West Coast construction, there's something different about it.
They can't do any of that until they build this lot, because they can't close the Simba lot where they're supposed to be building the DCA side until they build this lot. They can't close the transportation hub so that they can build Avatar until the Eastern Gateway is done, or whatever it is that they're going to put in that space in the Hollywood backlot space. They can't do any of that until they build, or at least are very near to complete, the Eastern Gateway. It is quite literally the first domino to fall for the next 10 to 15 years. So with that, we're going to put out the call to all of our Fresh Baked Street team. If you're staying at the Element, if you're staying at the Hilton, the Garden Inn, we stayed there, had a great view of the parking lot there. Take a look out your window, see if you can't see the Eastern Gateway, the Manchester parking lot. Send those pics to Fresh Bake. Put those pics up on the freshbakepresents.com app and let us know what you find.
So that's the little snippet from Fresh Baked. I definitely encourage everyone to go check out his full video on this. I've only played like maybe a couple minutes, but the mere fact that, like, you made a valid point. 20 days from now, they're just closing the lot, maybe bringing construction vehicles on site, and God knows when they're going to rip it up. That concerns me a lot. Like, I mean, a lot. And I want to get to John's comments here. John says, I hope they tear down that ridiculous Pixar Pal parking lot after they build this new one. I want as much space for the rides in Disneyland Forward as possible. So do you also mean, John, the hotel as well? Because they would have to rip out the hotel too if they rip out the parking lot or the parking structure for the hotel. So I just want to clarify that. He also says, hopefully they are having second thoughts putting it there and are contemplating putting it on the east side of the freeway. then he also says, I don't buy the idea about the parking lot needing to be done before they can build the Avatar area. See, that's one thing, John, I will agree with you 150,000%. Like I said, they can move the bus load and unload area to the Lilo and Stitch parking lot where downtown Disney is and put it there. They can easily do that. Move
And
it
also
over and start
also the drop off
yes.
as well, because I think they're going to expand that out too for backstage area.
Yeah.
And I do agree with John. If he's referring to also the hotel in time, I would build another new Disney hotel somewhere else. I would clear out, as much as I do like what they did with the Pixar Place Hotel. I think it was a nice kind of refurb. I feel like it's just a Band-Aid at this point. I think once they start getting into the Simba lot, I say get rid of the Pixar Place Hotel to alleviate more room for that.
100%. We got Ken and Camper in the house. Always great to see him. I 100% agree with you. I want more hotel. If they want to build another hotel at the Disneyland Resort, I'm going to tell you straight up, I want something like the Grand Californian, or I want something like a Florida hotel, like the oh my God, the Grand Floridian. You have
we need some value resorts.
Yes,
that's
you.
What we need.
But I do want to tell you though, with the value resorts, I want them heavily themed to Disney. I don't want this like Pixar Place Hotel where they take a hotel, strip all the theming out of it from what it once was, and slap Disney theming and call it a day. I don't like that. It's like, okay, well, you basically put lipstick on a pig. No, I don't want that. I want my steak seared, seasoned, and ready to go. Okay. I don't want this. Oh,
basically my steak that you ate for dinner.
Yeah, it was delicious, by the way. I'll never forget that moment.
I'm still so glad I captured that on camera, because that was the best. You were literally down to the last piece.
I was dying, dude. I almost choked on that piece because I was laughing so hard. I was dying. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Chris West says, I heard they put those animal cutouts on the train windows because of the scavenger hunt booklet. So for the Disneyland Railroad, you know, where you see all the dinosaurs.
Oh, so they did it for the scavenger hunt booklets. Oh, well, that's kind of clever that they can kind of do 2 for 1. For that's part of the scavenger hunt, but then also, you know, it kind of gives something to look at while they're going through refurb.
100%. John Make It Rain says, give us a Pirates of the Caribbean hotel.
Oh, that'd be cool. Oh, and then a little higher, John said, where was it?
The hotel park.
Oh yeah, the hotel parking lot can stay, but I just want the giant new parking lot built next to Mickey and Friends to go away. So he's saying keep Mickey and Friends. If I'm understanding this, he just wants the Pixar pals to go away.
Interesting. Okay. Chris West says, I'm sure they want to do a Marvel hotel. That would be cool, like a Avengers hotel, kind of like what they had for Age of Ultron when Tony Stark moved Stark Industries.
Or I guess like the Marvel New York
yes.
one they have. That would be really cool.
That would be dope.
We got Rudio.
We got Rudio in the house. Always great to see Rudio. Pixar Place Hotel is not much better than the Knott's Hotel. Wow. Okay.
That's saying a lot.
That is saying a lot. Jeez Louises. God. Okay, never mind. I'm not staying there. Forget it.
Well, it's funny. Abby and I actually had that hotel booked way early in advance for D23.
Oh God.
And I made that as a statement when we were doing our hotel review when we were staying at the Disneyland Hotel for our anniversary. And Rudio messages me and he's like, dude, you have to cancel your reservation.
Oh
he's like, don't stay there for D23.
Oh my God.
Which I'm actually so glad, because of where the location was. It would be like hell in a handbasket getting back and forth between there and the convention center.
Oh God, no, thank you. Pass. Jeez Louises, no thanks. John Make It Rain says a hotel based off Shipwreck Cove is my dream. That'd be awesome. Brandon Green one says they need to build two concept, a in-park hotel like Epic, and then build some value resorts to attract more out-of-town guests.
See,
100%.
I'm all for that. For like, I think that's what they need to do, sort of like how they did with the Grand Cali. Like, yeah, if we can get another hotel that like you can enter in through the park on an opposite end, and then yeah, with the values, because again, if they want to encourage more people coming out of state, out of country, you want to entice them. And as I said, I know a lot of people, don't like the value resorts down at Walt Disney World. I think they're very nice.
I think
I
so.
know a lot of people. I enjoy them. I really do.
Because I will say, staying at All Star Movies, I was very impressed how clean and how nice that hotel was. I was very impressed, and I cannot wait to stay at Pop Century and some of these other hotels going forward. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
one of these times, don't get me wrong, one of these times when I go down there or I move down there and George comes and visits, or Orange Grove comes and or whoever comes and visits, I would like to stay at the higher class hotels. So we'll see. We'll see. Amusement Park Pirates said, I think it would make the most sense. It would be near Avengers Campus, so the Avengers Hotel. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
That would, yeah.
John Make It Rain says a hotel in the shape of the New York building would be super cool. He says, how come Disneyland doesn't have any super themed hotels like Walt Disney World? Because of space. We don't have the space. A Star Wars Hotel 2.0. Well, maybe if they don't charge the astronomical prices, maybe. Maybe. Brandon Green says Arta Animation and Pop Century are the best of the Walt Disney World value resorts. Would you agree with that, George? Because you've been there more times than I can count.
Yeah, I think with Art of Animation and Pop Century, I love the features because both hotels literally are walking distance from each other. You can cross over a bridge and you can walk to either one of them. Plus, you can get the Skyliner, from those hotels, which is a nice feature.
I do like that.
I enjoy All-Star movies and music too. I'm not a fan of sports only because they get like the high schooler teams and the cheerleading and all that. It's just like complete chaos.
100%.
So, but yeah, I enjoy the value resorts.
100%. So you actually wanted to bring up one more thing, George. What was that?
So the last thing I wanted to bring up was kind of going back to Florida at Hollywood Studios. Was I wanted to talk about Monstropolis.
Okay.
I know we brought it up earlier, but I wanted to bring out the breaking news that we all were not anticipating. Sort of like how they started kind of telling us like the backstory of Monstropolis and everything.
Okay.
Because I did a little video the day that it broke out, but I never really got to talk to anybody about it. But I love the backstory of what was it? I think it's Human or Human Day or something or other. I have to like go back and I think it's like really cool because it gives a purpose of like why we are allowed to enter in Monstropolis, even though that the monsters are now finding to make kids laugh instead of screaming and crying. But like you were never able to actually enter in the monster world other than Boo that she snuck in. So yeah, Human Day is a go. But I love how they kind of have this backstory. Like it's like, okay, you're entering in Monstropolis for the day, and you get to experience the factory and the neighborhoods and Harryhausen's and everything. And I noticed when I was going through all the material on on the newspaper that it said, what was it? Section 8, paragraph 15 or something or other. And then I kind of like, just because Disney likes to throw in those hidden Easter eggs, and it's 8/15, August 15th, the day of the park's showcase at the Honda Center. So that is a huge piece of information that we are going to get more up-to-date Monsters Inc. info at the expo. So obviously, if they already dropped all this news, that means they're going to have more info. Maybe what the show is going to be at the Globe Theater, and maybe what the inside of Harryhausen's is going to look like, and maybe some of the food and merch. And could we maybe even get a little bit of a ride through of the coaster itself? And like, because we only got that one piece of concept art of what it's supposed to look like inside.
Sure.
And then that little 3D rendering where the vehicles are raising up. But obviously we're going to get more. So we're guaranteed something with Monsters, Inc.
Definitely. Well, you make an excellent point about Human Day, the fact that there's that Easter egg with the 8/15. And I'm glad you wanted to bring this up, because one thing I wanted to ask you that I didn't get to ask you, because I did a video myself solo, just reading this article for everybody. But having this logo here, the Department of Human Relations, obviously you have a human hand and a monster's hand as one of the logos. And then you have this logo right here. And the fact that D23 is less than 3 months away, and people go ape nuts for the merch at D23. Do you think we might have some Monstropolis merch drop the day 3, which is going to be Sunday, the 16th, after they talk about more details about Monstropolis on the 15th for the parks panel?
I think they may drop what could be coming out for the merch, like to showcase it. As far as actually buying it, normally not, because usually day 3, as far as like the shopping goes, there's like practically like nothing left. You're basically getting the scraps of the weekend. The best day to actually do the shopping actually is on Friday. That is like the best time. Right early in the morning. get that wristband. And but so yeah, so as far as like it dropping to actually buy the merch, unless it's an online purchase. If they do it like a virtual queue thing where they say, okay, dropping on Sunday on the Disney Store app or the Disney Store website, or Shop Disney or whatever they call it now, they may drop it like that.
No, it's more than possible. I do like that. Okay, I want to break this down just for a second, because you look at this logo here. Obviously, you have the buildings for Harryhausen's, you have the building for the factory, and you have the building for the Globe Theater, right?
Yes.
But okay, so out of the buildings that are in the background, the all black kind of outline buildings, you have at least 3 of them that kind of look like that monster thing. Do you think that could be expansion for future buildings? Maybe another indoor ride, maybe another sit-down restaurant, maybe another.
Okay, I'm gonna put on my Imagineering hard hat, and I'll tell you exactly what kind of expansion I would want from Monstropolis.
Okay, here we go.
Let's eventually, once we get this and it's a success, let's build Monsters University.
Ooh, I like that.
Let's expand the university so we get the original, we get the prequel, and there's talks, obviously, that there's going to be a Monsters Inc. 3, I guess, if you can call it 3. I don't know if you can call it 3, but it'll probably be titled something else. So who really knows if there's going to be something else that's going to be tied to it with the new Monsters movie. But I would love to see a Monsters University, because you have like the greenery of the outdoor of the campus. You have the architecture of like how like the brickwork kind of looks like monsters and all that. I think that would be like really, you can kind of have like the fall colors of the trees. So they're like man-made trees. They're not real trees, but kind of have like that fall harvest kind of look. I don't know. I would love to see an expansion with adding Monsters University because it's
Oh,
still part of the Monsters world.
yeah. No, 100%. I would love that. I would honestly, and Disney has proven, even with, IP that doesn't do well in the box office, they are still willing to build lands and attractions based off the IP. So I could see a Monsters University expansion down the road because as we kind of did aerial shots from Google Earth earlier, there's a lot of expansion room for Hollywood studios. Like a
Oh yeah,
lot.
and especially in time. I know this opened up with the park. This is a classic. I still enjoy it. I love the show. I'm glad you and Tommy got to experience it. But I think down the road, I think Indiana Jones is on its way out, especially once we get the ride over at Tropical Americas.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. So we got Cherry Blossom. She asked, what about a McDonald's in the theme park in Disneyland?
All I know is I remember those McDonald's fry carts. Those were the best quality McDonald's fries you can get.
Oh,
I'm
God.
sorry. They had the best because that's all they focused on was the fries. How could you get it wrong?
And John Make It Rain right there, the fry wagon cart next to Big Thunder.
That's where I always got my fries, right there.
Perfect.
That was me, man. Sitting down, eating my McDonald's fries, petting a goat.
Oh God, I can only imagine. Jeez Louises.
And then up here, Amusement Park Pirates suggested that maybe even an opening date for Monsters at D23. That I would love, even if it's not the date, but kind of give us like a rough ballpark. Is it going to, because there's a lot of speculation that, and I'm even thinking it's going to be 2028. I'm thinking it's going to be 2028.
Interesting. Okay.
And then Peter says, we need George to meet George at Monstropolis. And what he's referring to is he's talking about George Sanderson, the orange monster that constantly gets 2319'd. So
I love that. You imagine. Oh, dude.
No, I would. Like if I met him, I would literally throw my sock on him and go, we have a 2319. We have a 2319.
Dude, you imagine. Dude, that would be funny as hell. Oh my God. Oh Lord. John Make It Rain says, how big is the space for the Indiana Jones stunt show space?
Oh, it's pretty big. I mean, you have the seating, the queue line, you have the stage, the backstage, like where they open up the for the stunts and everything. So it's pretty big. I don't have the exact numbers, but Thrillabee, what's up?
Oh, there we go. We got Thrillabee in the house.
Thrillabee.
It's always good to see Thrillabee. So I'm going to bring up Google Earth once again, and George, you can kind of guide me.
To the to the B.
All right. So Rock and Roller Coaster's right here. So
keep going, keep it. Okay, so it's like that fan-shaped building right there. That whole thing right there is Indiana Jones.
That's a pretty big space.
Yeah.
Like I mean, pretty big space. Yeah, I can see it. You know why? Because what's this back here? What is this?
It's construction, but I don't know what they're doing with that. I don't know if that's a new.
I don't know.
Because that's closer to the entrance.
Yeah, because you got the bus. I think there's the bus area right here. Because you got Fantasmic right here, bus right here, but then you have this, which I don't know what that is.
That must be a new pathway or something that they're maybe a new entranceway or something.
Yeah,
I don't know if that could be theme park stuff because it's literally right there by the entranceway.
Yeah, I'm not exactly. Sorry, I just got distracted on some. I think we have some updates here. let me go to X now because we got some updates all of a sudden from.
And while you check that out, Amusement Park Pirate says, I have a theory. They'll probably announce the closure of DL Monsters, then segue into Monstropolis news, or the opposite. Oh, I see. So they'll either like say like the official closing date for Mike and Sully to the Rescue, and then go into. So it'll just be a whole Monsters Inc. segue. I could see them doing that. I could definitely see them doing that.
100%. So we got some breaking news from good friend of Mondo from Five Fires. So currently, right now, this is where that bathroom looks. It looks like they have re-added theming to the pathway for the new restroom. So hopefully that will open up. Let me see, because he's going hog wild with posts now. And this is the current site of Infinity Defense and Stark Flight Labs. It looks like we have some development happening here. So it looks like they're starting to slowly enclose the roof. So definitely things are moving forward with Avengers Infinity. Okay, I'm actually glad he posted this picture for a hot minute. Okay, when you look at this, I don't know, man. I feel that Infinity Defense is bigger than what it looks like what we're seeing with construction.
The building looks much bigger than what this looks like, but the funny thing is when you look at this and you look in, this looks like Stark Flight Lab. Because if you look to the side, look, there's the Kuka arms.
Oh yeah, right here. Look how big the Kuka arm space is, and then look how small Infinity Defense.
Well, I think Infinity Defense runs all the way to the back here.
Yeah, I think it does. So it goes all the way back here somewhere. Yeah. That's still, God, wow. And then I'm trying to figure out what the hell this thing is because it's like in a glass case. What is that?
What's what?
You see this?
Oh, I see it. Yeah, that's what they showcased at D23. Like they had it like it was like a, I don't know what that is. Like it looks like we're going under a glass table.
Well, no, that's this right here. But I'm wondering what this kind of like robot arm and like this glasses.
That's what I'm saying. That's what it looks like. It looks like we're walking like under like a glass table.
Oh,
yeah, but I see what you mean though. Like I don't know what that thing is inside of it.
Yeah.
And then Thriller B says, I'm concerned about the backside of Avengers Campus sightline from Carsland. I think a lot of people are.
Yeah.
I think honestly, as much as I do love that, they're expanding Avengers Campus, I do not like seeing, I can't stand when I see Spider-Man flinging through the air from Carsland. I can't stand it. It's like, and you hear it like when you're in line for Maters and you're hearing Peter Parker talking, like it's just I don't know. I still say take it back to A Bug's Land. I know they're not going to. We're at the point of no return with that one, but
yeah, no, 100%. My thing is, I don't know, man. I do not like this. I wish instead of giving this the second attraction, this wouldn't have all been Infinity Defense. You imagine what type of ride that would have been if this whole massive building was one ride?
Well, that is the big question because they only built Stark Flight Lab because they had to do something with the Kuka arms that they purchased. So that makes me wonder, did they reduce down Infinity Defense? Because
they had to have. See, my question is, and Thrillby actually came up with an interesting comment. I witnessed Spider-Man flying through the air while riding
exactly.
Maters.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you're riding Maters, like you're hearing Peter Parker talk, and it's like, ugh. And then John McRain says they still do the Spider-Man stunt show. Yep, they still do the stunt show. I'm hoping for a third ride in the Avengers area. I'm hoping for a Groot ride. As far as for Avengers, like on that part of the side, John, I think they're pretty much done for right now because technically that already have 4 rides. Because you're going to have Infinity Defense, Stark Flight Lab, Mission Breakout, and Web Slingers.
100%.
But, you know, in time. Now, that's not to say that they can't do anything else outside of the campus. Like, I would love for them to get into like Wakanda for Black Panther.
Yeah.
Possibly into the X-Men and Fantastic Four. I think Fantastic Four would have done really well in Tomorrowland, but that got shot once Disney saw the box office numbers for that.
Yeah, no, 100%. But then again, you know, like I said just a little bit ago, Disney, they still build attractions off failure IPs in the box office. Because look at it. Look at Tron Life Cycle Run. The movies did terrible in the box office, but yet now we have.
I think honestly, the only reason why we got Tron was because of the high demand that people were seeing from Shanghai.
Yep.
And Chapek was like, okay, let's bring it over. I think if we were in the same situation right now, if Tron didn't happen at the time when it did, we wouldn't have had Tron.
100%. So folks, we're gonna answer a couple more questions. So if you have a couple more, please ask them, because I gotta go to work tomorrow and then meet up with this crazy, lovely guy at Disneyland tomorrow, along with Tommy Toon World. But Thrill Beast says, any news on the Hyperion Theater? Will it be eaten by Avatar or Avengers Campus? What do you think? Here comes that Imagineer helmet coming back again. Here we go.
I think honestly, if they're not going to use the Hyperion, as much as I absolutely love that theater, I miss Aladdin. I really do. That show was the GOAT. I can see it kind of go either way, but I think they already kind of have their mind of like what Avatar is, and if there really is only one ride that's going in Avatar, that could definitely leave up for a second attraction in the future. Or they may expand it for another thing for Avengers. It really can go either way, I would think.
100%. John Makerrain says, do you guys think they will put a restaurant or a lounge on top of the Quinjet building and let guests overlook the backside?
That would be actually kind of a cool feature to be up there. I am going to miss that stunt show that they did up there. I know it was kind of cheesy and corny with Black Widow and Black Panther and everything, but I actually enjoyed that little stunt show. But the feature, like if they did put something up there for people to kind of sit, like a veranda style kind of thing to overlook the campus, I think that would be kind of cool.
That would be pretty awesome. And then Rudio says, we got to be up early for that Nintendo Direct at 7 a.m. Well, thank you, Rudy, for joining. We got John with, was that a goat?
It's the goat. I think he's referring to possibly the Hyperion or Aladdin at the Hyperion.
Aladdin. There you go. And then Thrillby says, I'm down for the live shows again. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think honestly, if they did put a decent live show in there, then I say keep the Hyperion. I just wish that they would kind of like get a different backdrop or something, kind of like spruce up the outside of the theater, because the inside of the theater is gorgeous. The outside looks like a trash can, but
it does. I'm going to tell you this. I personally think, as much as I would love to see one, I don't think it would happen. But I could see both sides of the fence. So for the Hyperion, get rid of it. If you give it Avengers Campus, either give us a roller coaster. Okay, that's the first option.
Mm-hmm.
Or Avatar, because think about it. Bricky did a video not too long ago saying that PhilharMagic could be a restaurant that they have in Animal Kingdom for Avatar, but obviously a little bit different, but obviously the same concept. So a sit-down restaurant. And if they do that, they'll have the main attraction, the restaurant, and they could put another e-ticket attraction if they got rid of the Hyperion. They could do it.
They could if they really wanted to. And I do agree with you with the roller coaster, because essentially I think that's where the original, because they were going to do like a light cycle kind of like Tron style, but it was going to be themed to Captain America. I think that's where that coaster was going to go.
The problem I see with that, the only problem, is it going to be too tall where it's going to bleed in the cars land if they do it?
Well,
That's
and also too, that's going to be an ugly sight line coming from, again, Buena Vista Street, passing Carthay, walking down the Hollywood Boulevard Strip, and you see Pandora to the right or the left, and you see this big roller coaster. That's just, I don't know.
yeah, it's going to be crazy. But John says, "Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for the live stream, Conductor and HaloGelato." Well,
Absolutely.
thank you guys so very much. You guys are amazing. George, my amazing co-host on the live streams, is absolutely amazing. And Thrill B actually has a great comment. He says, "We need a rendition of Cosmic Rewind somewhere at the Disneyland or DCA." Dude, Cosmic Rewind. I will tell you, Thrill B, George was not kidding when he told me, dude, this is going to be a ride you've never been on ever in your freaking life. You're going to love it. I wanted to go on that thing 3, 4, 5 times in a row. But the fact that it was over 180 minutes, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. But it was.
It's literally my favorite ride in all of Walt Disney World.
Oh my God. I will say Tron does run a close second for me. I just wish it was longer.
Flight of Passage is my number 2.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Flight of Passage is number 2. Number 3 is Tron. I just wish Tron was longer. Too short.
I could agree with that. I think for number 3, Tron is kind of tied with me with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but the reason why is because both of them are great, but just a little bit too on the short side.
100%. And we got Big Samus in the house. Always
hey,
great.
What's up, Big Samus?
Man, it's been a while. Do you guys like going to Six Flags? Personally, for me, never been. Too far for me to drive. But George?
Yeah, so first of all, Big Sam, it's great to see you in. I love that tailspin.
I love that logo.
Oh man, take me back to the Disney afternoon. Jeez. So for Six Flags, I have been to several Six Flags on the East Coast, and I have been a couple times of the one out here, but I haven't spent like a full day experience. I remember going with Tommy and Abby for Fright Fest, where Tommy and I did ride Goliath at night. That was freaking awesome. I do want to go back to, and then we had to go to Six Flags to activate our new passes because we have the dual Six Flags. So ever since like Six Flags and Cedar Fair merged, we had to go and activate our passes to Six Flags for us to get into Knott's. So Abby and I went out to Six Flags. We scanned in, ate a funnel cake, and then walked back out and went to Knott's. But yeah, so there is going to be a day where I would like to go and ride some roller coasters because I do love me some roller coasters.
100%. And thank you, Chris West, for the birthday shout out. I will have a blast tomorrow with George and Tommy. I'm going to tell you this though. I don't know, from the footage I saw, because I could deal with roller coasters, but Six Flags is kind of pushing it for me, especially like Goliath, and I'd probably faint because I don't like going that high. I'll go high, but not that high. But they did open a new Looney Tunes mini land.
They did.
That looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. So I don't know if I would drive up there specifically for that, but I will tell you, I cannot wait to see your coverage because I know you just said you're going to go back up there, so I can't wait to see it because it looks amazing. Because I love Looney Tunes. Growing up, Looney Tunes, Cartoon Network, the Disney weekends, all that stuff. I love that stuff. I crave that stuff. Nickelodeon and at night, Teen Nick, the whole night. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, see, that's his impression. So don't think he's having an aneurysm. That's how he gets excited.
That's taking me back to church. Hallelujah.
Oh, he's nuts. This is what I deal with. This is what I dealt with for 16 days at Walt Disney World. That right there. That right there.
But right you there. Have survived. You have survived to tell the tale.
At least for another time. Oh my God. Thrillbee says, have you talked about the new parking structure being built? Yeah, we talked about it for a little while ago. So definitely, once this live ends, Thrillbee, definitely rewind a little bit and you'll see it right there. We got Park Explorer Adventure.
Hey, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in.
There you
Plug
go.
it in, plug it in.
He's definitely nuts. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, thank you guys so very much for joining tonight's live stream. George, thank you for joining last minute. Had a blast with you talking all these topics. Where can everybody find you on social media?
Absolutely, and thanks for having me on your live. It was so great to be a part of it. And really quick, Park Explorer Adventure got out of an early screening of Disclosure. It was awesome. I can't wait to see it. Abby and I will be seeing it in the coming weeks. So I'm very curious. I mean, it's a Steven Spielberg movie, so I mean, how can you go wrong? But in any case, speaking of which, you could find me on our YouTube channel, HaloGelato with Abby, where we do out of theater reviews, which we will be doing one for Disclosure Day and many other movies. And also we cover the theme parks with Disney, Universal, Knott's Berry Farm, even the cruise line. We do life vlogs, we do event vlogs around different locations, and we got some pretty interesting content coming up for you, some that hasn't even been announced yet. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise, so definitely like, subscribe, hit that notification bell on HaloGelato so you get all the news, info, and updates on that. And of course, Conductor, we're going to have a great day tomorrow for your birthday and everything, so that's going to be awesome. And then also I'm just going to give a little bit of a tweak. I'm not going to give it out because this is actually for Conductor's Live, but I will be joining him and two other special guests for the next Conductor live stream on Sunday. So definitely you want to lock in for that as well. And then you could also find me on Instagram under HaloGelato and under also George the Disney Italiano.
Absolutely. And again, thank you, George, for being on this live stream. I can't wait to hang out with you and Tommy tomorrow at Disneyland. And like George said, this coming Sunday for Conductor Sunday live stream, it's a don't want to miss live stream. I'm going to have two new people on the channel, never been on before. One of them, George has done videos with before years and years ago. So it'll be great to have him back on and reunite with George. The other person, he constantly posts on social media, especially X, with updates. So I can't wait to have him on for the very first time. Very excited about that. That will be at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely mark your calendars for that because it's going to be a great one. I'm your host, Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky at Theme Park Conductor, on X at Theme Conductor, TikTok at Theme Park Conductor 1, and every Sunday at 5 or 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Conductor Sunday live stream, where we have amazing guests like the one, the only, HaloGelato with his spicy Italian theme park opinions, and my crazy co-host on the live streams. He does phenomenal work. He's only inches away from hitting 70,000 subs on HaloGelato. Like you said, he has a lot of amazing content coming up that he hasn't even announced yet. So definitely go check him out. Him and his wife, Abby, do such amazing work. And Abby actually did her first ever live by herself at Trader Sam's. So definitely go check that out. And I will see you guys, whether it's at Disneyland tomorrow for my birthday celebration or this coming Sunday. I will see you guys coming up. Have a good night, everybody. Stay cool or stay warm wherever you might be, and stay safe.
Everybody was gone.